Today we're at my buddy Reid Stevens' house, and he's been gracious enough to open up his backyard and show us some of the rarest Dodge Charger barn finds on the entire planet. Reid, how are you?
Hey Parker, how you doing?
Doing well. And
good to see you.
To start, you said that you'd basically take us to the car that I believe you had when you were 14?
Yes. So, of course, my dad, when he was 15, had
let's walk to it.
Yeah, he had a 69 Super B, which you see.
Yep.
That's a 69B there that I had given to me. We bought a car and somebody gave me that car, and when I was leaving, they said, "Do you want another 69 Super B out in the woods?" And we went out back and looked to see what he had, and it actually had a lot of parts on it. It had power windows. It had the air grabber set up under the hood.
So this is the car then?
No, this is not. This is one we got on a purchase up north. But no, the car. So what happened was when I hit 14, my dad realized that I'm going to need to drive.
Okay.
So he's like, we got to get back into the muscle cars. I want a car like I had when I was 15, which was a 69 Super B. So he looked at the local auto trader, and we found this 69 Super B down here that there's only one reason it's here. As you'll see, it's just for sentimental value. So what happened to this car is we bought it when I was 14, and he didn't know anything about restoring cars. I, of course, was 14. I didn't know anything. We had no tools. Sure. We had a one-car barn, and he wanted to build this car. Believe it or not, this car was really nice. It was an R6 red 4-speed coupe Super B.
A post car.
Yeah, a post car. It had side scoops. It had red interior. And it was a really nice car. The only thing it needed was some lower quarters and a patch panel on the floor pans. And we tore it all apart. We was good at that, right? So we tore it all apart, hung all the parts on the barn walls, and didn't know where to go. Oh. Didn't know how to do it. Didn't know how to fix anything. And it's just pounding our head against the wall. So shortly after that, a 69 Cornet popped up on the local trader. An old woman had it. She was like 95 years old, and the car was spotless. So Dad goes, "Why don't we take the scoops, plop them on the side of it, put the scoops on the hood, and you'll drive around in a lot more solid car."
Are they cut out on the other side too?
The scoops? Yeah, I actually got them inside. I cut them out for templates, so when I do a side scoop car, I can have the right holes.
So it's still serving a purpose.
Yeah, I'll show you inside. I believe it's hanging on my parts wall inside. So yeah, a lot of parts came off this car. So what happened to this car was, believe it or not, we got my Cornet going, my 318 Cornet, which had all these Super B parts on it. Not the numbers. You see the radiator supports still in it and everything.
Yep.
But it looked like Super B. It was bright yellow. You know, it wasn't even a factory yellow. It was, everyone in high school knew me by my car. So this car had no use anymore. We had no place to put it. So what did we do? We had no way to move it either, so we rolled it over on its roof, don't ask me why, and we put a bunch of logs under it and we rolled it out into the woods. And so we sold that house, and I would say I built this house 15, 16 years ago. About 2 years into it, I told my dad, "I want that car back. I wonder if it's still sitting there." This was 20, 25, 30 years later.
Okay.
And I went out there and asked the people if I could go out back and look in the woods, and it was still sitting where we put it.
Oh, wow.
So I went in, got out a trailer, and we pulled it out, and I brought it back here just because it was literally my first car.
Is this the most sentimental one to you then?
It is, for that reason.
Has the most history.
Yeah, so when I was 14, we didn't, the actual car that I drove is sitting on a sidewalk in California right now. You can Google Earth it. It's sitting there with a tarp on it. That one would have more meaning to me because I drove that one for 9 years.
Yeah, okay.
But this car literally was the first car that got me into all this mess you see here.
Now, is this something that would eventually get restored?
No.
No. Okay, it's just too far gone.
It's too far gone.
I mean,
putting in
you could restore it.
Yeah,
but,
believe it or not, Parker, the cool thing about putting a car upside down in the woods is you have all these areas that rust out. They rust out opposite. So that's why the door rusted out on the top. But look at the bottom of the door.
The bottom of the door is probably... Oh, it's perfectly fine.
It's rock solid. So you don't typically see that. And so this car rusted out completely upside down.
Wow.
It's too bad. I mean, it's a shame. The car was really nice.
I am just amazed at the amount of Chargers that was in this yard.
Yeah.
I've had a couple in my backyard, and I thought that was cool, but this is 3, 4, 6, 7 times that.
Yeah, it's these Chargers are all relatively new. The outside row of cars are pretty much cars that I brought in, short of a couple Chargers up there.
Okay.
But the whole center section of Chargers we just brought in a couple years ago with the car transaction we did. I've been after those Chargers, all these Chargers. There's approximately 20 of them total.
Okay.
You know, 68 to 70 chargers. There's a handful of 66 to 67s too that we haven't brought in yet. The car transaction was I'm going to do an OEM restoration on a guy's first car that he bought brand new when he was a kid.
Okay.
Him and his dad bought it right local at Bangor Dodge. So I'm going to restore that so he can, like the day it was brand new, and he gave me all these cars.
And I think we have, you'll show us that here in a little bit,
His
right?
car's inside. It's in the paint booth just out of the way, yep.
I have to ask you about this car behind us. This is the King Cuda, and it just seems like this one seems familiar to me. I don't know why. Maybe I've seen a picture of it online or something like that.
Every single person that comes here says the same exact thing. This car came out of Palmyra, Maine, sitting in a junkyard. I think we paid $200 for it. It was complete. It had a nose on it. I cut the nose off, used it on another car. It had a pretty solid nose. And then it just sits here. It's kind of a cool conversation piece, except for we don't know what the conversation is. Everyone is familiar with the car and thinks they know about it, but no one has any stories on it.
I look at a lot of photos and maybe it's got shackles on it here. Do you know what the car was originally?
Yeah, it was just a 318 Barracuda. Yep.
Okay.
70.
Was it blue?
Do you know what? I don't even know if
it might have been white.
I think either white or yellow, maybe. I think we could find out right in here. Yeah, it's yellow.
Yellow?
Yeah, like a sunfire yellow. The color of that jam right there, yeah. Whoops, excuse me.
That is incredible. I don't know, man. I think this is something you could just put down on the wall, Reid.
Well, I'll tell you a funny story. We had a dog. Our first dog me and my wife had here was named Cuda. And he passed away right out back behind our house in the woods.
Okay.
And my wife wanted me to come down. She's into cars a little, but not like she wouldn't place this on the center of her lawn. But she did tell me to come down and cut the quarter panel off and put it out where the dog passed away, because
that would be great.
He literally was our King Cuda. So
where do we go from here?
We can go anywhere you want. This car is just a parts Challenger we picked up, 50 bucks. It's pieces. Most of these are just, you know, we do the OEM restorations inside, and you've got to have the nuts and bolts and the pieces. So there's been many nights I run out here at 10 o'clock at night to grab a nut, bolt, screw.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a pretty rare car in its own right.
Yeah,
here.
We had
this is a B-body, looks like a Roadrunner convertible.
Cornet 500 convertible.
500, okay.
Yeah, and we had 3 of them. There's a 68 over there. This car came as a package deal. Like a lot of these cars, I bought a car that we wanted more, and then this was just like a parts car that came with it.
Okay.
This car is here for parts. It's got a great, you know, windshield pillar. We have another Cornet up there that's buildable. This one has great, you know, these wheel caps for the convertibles always rust out. That one's a little rusted. But this convertible stuff you can't get. They don't reproduce it, so you have to have it.
Any big body Mopar with a convertible is extremely rare.
Yeah, it's been here a while. It's been here quite a while. My dad built a really nice one that he ended up selling to RK Motors, and this was a parts car for it.
Yeah, I know what RK Motors is.
Yeah, they sell a lot of decent cars.
What's this one? Got an Italian sticker on it.
This car's cool here. This car's pretty rare. This is probably one of the rarer Chargers sitting right here.
Okay.
It's a 6-cylinder car.
Really?
Yeah, I'm actually using it for parts because it has no dash.
Now, how do you know it was a 6-cylinder car?
It's got the K-frame in it, and it's got a fender tag.
Oh, it does have. I've seen
that. Yeah,
okay.
This one's, believe it or not, the fender tag survived better than the car did.
And where on the fender tag here would it show us that
I decoded it earlier, Parker, but I'm not great with 68 tags. So,
neither am I, because they're different.
Yeah, some of your viewers will be able to read that, but I don't know the 68 tags that well. But
I figured the motor mounts were probably different.
They are. Yeah, it's definitely a.
Oh, okay, you can see it here.
See it?
Yep, it pops. Yep.
And you got that.
Now, would this have been a slant 6?
Yep, slant 6. Yeah, pretty rare car. I seen some guys online actually looking for slant 6 Chargers.
I don't believe I've ever seen a Dodge Charger slant 6
the first one I've seen
in person before.
Yeah, that's it. It's too bad. I mean, I wish we had the dash, but
there's actually a slant 6 Mopar racing series at drag. I mean, I don't know. They probably do it everywhere, but they come to Mason-Dixon drag strip where we're at, and it's pretty cool to see them.
It's all slant 6?
Slant 6 Mopar
no
stuff.
kidding.
Yeah, some of them got turbos, and those guys are pretty cool.
We had a convertible 70 Satellite with a souped up slant 6 in it there a while back.
Yeah, this is.
Yeah, so these cars came out of the woods. I've got videos of us pulling them out of the woods. They came out pretty rough. The nose of this one almost broke off. So they definitely have seen better days. But You know, they're all buildable. We have racks in there. We could build any of them, and ultimately the goal is to save some of them, and I won't have enough time to save them all.
Oh, sure.
But, you know, some of them will let go the way they are, maybe put sheet metal on them and then sell them.
Are all three of those convertibles then?
Yeah, that's
Over
it.
there?
That one's not.
one's
That
not.
Barracuda had the roof cut off. I gave that to one of my buddies that needed a roof, so we sliced off a
So
roof.
it's a Barracuda, not a Cuda?
Yep, that was a Grand Coupe. That was
Okay.
a 70
Oh.
Grand Coupe, and the roof sitting on it is actually a 71 Grand Coupe that part of it's over there in the corner and the rest of it is demolished.
Well, while we're looking at that, can you explain what a Grand Coupe is to the people at home?
Yeah, a Grand Coupe, just it's an option on the Barracudas that came with some accessories like overhead console.
Probably
and,
had a vinyl top on it too.
Yeah, they had vinyl tops. They had wood grain inserts in the door panels. It was just a model option.
And it would have an emblem back here too, right?
It would have, yep. It would have, Parker.
Is that the hole for it probably right there?
Yeah, and it's you can see where it went around it. It's
Yep.
got like a kind of like a weird looking.
Yep, it's gone, but
Yep.
that's what I was trying, yep. Oh, and there's a hitch on it too.
They hauled something with it. Not sure what. But
Yeah, I went to Muscle Car and Corvette Nationals last year, and they had a Grand Coupe there. It was pretty much all original. One of the most beautiful cars that was there. I think it was butterscotch color.
Butterscotch.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool color.
Yeah, I think I might have seen that online. It's a pretty nice car.
Now this is a Cornet, right?
This car is pretty rare, actually. This car we got for $100 out of a junkyard down in Norwich Walk.
Norwich Walk. That's
Yeah.
an interesting name.
Yeah, it's not far from here. But yeah, this car has a great. Only reason we're keeping it. Somebody came and had a convertible, and they needed this Dutchman panel across the back, so
Okay.
we cut that out for them. And but the windshield frame and the trim, as you can see, is meant. Look at the dash pad on that car. It's 50 what? 53.
Oh, there's no cracks.
There's not a crack in it.
No, there's not.
Yeah, it's unbelievable.
Well, I was noticing this back seat here.
Yeah.
Is that like a certain edition, or were they all like this with the buttons?
I'm not
Or
sure.
maybe
I don't.
Maybe that's an aftermarket thing.
It may be. It may be. This should have.
I don't really see too many convertibles that often, so it's very,
Yeah.
very cool that we get to see at least two of them here.
Yeah, I
in a
sold
row.
3 of them as a package, and this car actually was one of them, an extra one that the guy got. He never took it, so it just stayed here 15 years ago.
Well, we could go down the row and do each one, but why don't we pick out a couple that you maybe have a specific story about, or ones that mean the most to you out here? I know you have some interesting ones over there. Do you have any RTs sitting in the field here?
No RTs.
No RTs.
Most of the
Okay.
cars we got out of there in that transaction, there was 170 RT. It's not here. It's in storage.
Okay.
And then there was a Charger 500, which of course you already filmed at Carlisle.
Right.
So those were the only 2 rare cars. For the most part, there's a couple of them here that are kind of cool, but for the most part, they're all grocery getters.
Sure.
And this one over here, the white one didn't come from that deal. That white one actually was a beautiful car. That was white with red interior. So
Does it still have the red interior in it?
I think it does, yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you about this one. Was this a purple car?
This car was like a burgundy, I guess.
Burgundy.
I don't know what they call it, but this color right here, it's like a deep burgundy.
Okay. Oh, I see it. Yep.
And this
It
car
was
is kind of
was
neat
repainted,
because
yeah.
most 68s, I guess, didn't come with a headrest. This 68 actually came with a headrest, which is more common for 69. So I got online and asked the guys about it, and
I
they
think
said
they were standard in '69
they
for all
were.
cars.
Yeah. So in 68, that was kind of unique to get them in 68, but you can see that's the original interior.
Now, is that red interior in this one too?
It is, yeah.
Does it open?
It
Probably not.
might. Yeah, I don't know.
No, I can't get it open.
Probably the way it's sitting, but the other side might be able to. But
Wow,
yeah,
that
this
is
car
cool.
had bright red interior. This was white with red. This one still has fender tag.
Yep. And for people that don't know, the way you would tell an RT from a non-RT is you could tell on the fender tag here, which is kind of hard to read, but it says XP. It would say XS.
Correct.
If it was an RT, and here's the VIN up here on the dash. It's a little easier to read. So this would be a non-RT two-door car, and F for a 1968 would be a 318.
318.
318.
Yeah.
And
And they're mostly 318s here. There's one big block car. I think it's one of these green ones right up in front of us.
and that has this was a console car also.
It was a cool car. There was a tree this big growing right through the middle of this one. And actually, let me show you something cool. Check this out. This car over here, I think it's this one, we couldn't get the tree out. So it came with us. We literally had to cut around the tree. and brought it with
Yes,
us.
it did. It
So
grew in the car.
we had to cut a road to get these cars out for the most part. It had grown up. And the guy that owned all these cars, he got them all. He bought every one he could find.
Come here, take a look at this. It just grew right around the K member down there. And wow, that is interesting. This was a console car also.
Yeah, pretty neat. I haven't, to be honest with you, Parker, I haven't even had time to decode a lot of them. This car over here, I believe, is a big block, this green one. Still got the big block in it.
Well, I've had a few Chargers before, and every 68 car I've ever owned was a triple green car.
I know.
Green
I
on
know.
green on green.
Absolutely.
It seems like my way that you have a lot of color here in this yard.
There
but,
is.
But where I live, they were all green, it seems like. And
That used to be what I found everywhere, but you know what? There's a lot of burgundy ones here. There's 2 or 3 burgundy ones.
looks like this had a tree that fell on it,
It
too.
did. Yeah, it did.
Do you have any SEs?
SEs.
As far as like we could show them maybe the difference between a SE and a non-SE?
I don't think any of these are SEs. The RT I had that's
Okay.
in storage, that one is an RT SE. That one's stored away. That doesn't do you any good. The one I'm going to show you inside, the sunroof car that's on a rotisserie, is an RT SE.
Now, what color would this have been?
This is a turquoise color. I don't know the proper term for it, but it's a really neat color. I like the color.
It presents well.
Did you see what this car was used for?
Uh-uh.
Do you see the door over here? You're going to want to check this out. So this car was a working car. So if you locked yourself out of your cars,
Oh, it was a locksmith.
guy
company.
showed up with a 68 Charger to get you going.
How cool is that waking up every day?
Neat. I remember seeing this. I was 20 years old when I went in and looked at all these cars. And I remember specifically seeing that locksmith car. And I remember seeing this down here. I'll show you this.
Oh, we're going to have to talk about this one right here in a second.
Yeah, this car's pretty neat. It's had a really rough life, but yeah, so I remember seeing that car and I remember seeing that door.
There you go.
And that door was just sitting in that yard. So
You
it was
gotta hang that on the wall. dude.
yeah, I know, it's pretty cool, you know, someone just kind of drew it on there. But as a kid, when you're 20 years old, you remember the Dukes Hazzard door. These are all the doors that were inside for all the years that we've been doing this. So you can see there's over 40, probably 40, 50 doors.
Now, if they were 70s, they'd have stickers on them, right? Actually, like this one right here.
What
Or
do
do
you
they
mean?
all have stickers on them?
VIN stickers?
Yeah.
Yeah, the driver's doors should have them on most of them unless they've been painted. But yeah, most of these are passenger doors here. Driver's doors, most of them are over here maybe. I don't
Is that
know.
the King Cuda door down there?
It could be. Some of them could be. Yeah, right there.
Yeah.
That's King Cuda's door, one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was. The King Cuda was complete when I
It
got
has
it.
a name Tim on there. Maybe
Yeah.
maybe someone, if you guys leave a comment below if you've ever seen that car. And
I'm sure people from Maine, someone's got to know that car. So
one of the coolest doors here at the very end.
yeah. Oh,
The little Red Express
yeah,
door.
yeah. My brother's had a bunch of those little Red Expresses. There's actually a frame to one inside that my cousin is working on.
Yeah, there was a couple guys that had little Reds in the town
Yeah.
when I was younger, and I remember my dad always telling me that they were a special car, but I think in '78 they were the fastest car.
They were faster than a Vet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
And it was a truck.
Yeah, it was incredible.
Had the
Yeah,
stacks on it and everything. And
yeah. My cousin's got a pretty neat one now.
what is this? I'm not familiar with.
So the Ram Charger guys will look at it and they're probably going to hit you up on your channel and say, hey, I need to buy the doors off that truck. So if you look at that door,
Sure.
I'll show you my Ram Charger before we leave too. It's up in the upper garage.
I don't know if I'm going to want to leave, Reid.
Yeah, we got plenty of time. So this is a 74 Ram Charger, and Ram Charger guys will know I'm not into Ram Chargers, even though I have one. My brother's the expert on these. They're called the half doors or something, I guess.
Okay.
So the frame on these stays on the top. So those are extremely hard to come by.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, so when you're driving it, it looks kind of funny because all you have is this when you take the top off. It looks like you had a pickup truck and you just cut the rest of it off. So they're desirable, I
solid door.
guess.
Wow.
Yeah, so this one's here just for parts. I used some parts off it on mine.
Is there anything down here that's special on the tag on this door? Or anything,
There is, Parker, but like I said, you'll have to defer to my brother on that stuff. But
Gotcha,
yeah,
okay.
that tells you what it is right there, I'm pretty sure.
It seems like the Dodge trucks are starting to creep up in value
They
and
are.
starting to get a little bit more audience or attention to
I
them.
threw a pile of NOS parts at mine because my truck was so clean. And it was just as easy for me to buy NOS parts as it was repro. So I bought a lot of NOS parts, and I thought I was going to be backwards, you know, aggressively on that truck. And then
Okay.
they went through the roof. I've been offered like 50 grand for that Ram Charger.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Why don't we talk about this car right here?
That car is this car as well, and you're going to want to see this. This car is kind of well known. It's on the internet. So if you look at that, you can see it was a billboard car, factory billboard car. Careful you don't cut yourself on this mess.
Can you peel this back at all?
Sure you can. So if you look at that door and you actually look at some of the damage.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, you know why that's weird? Because most of the damage to this car was done with a fork truck. So, and front end loaders. So this
That makes
car
sense.
was, the guys in upper state New York will know this car well. It sat on top of a school bus at Ed's Auto Salvage in Lancaster, New York.
I've seen the photo.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it used to sit up on top of a bus. And these brothers own this junkyard, and one of the brothers told me that it took me 2 years to get this car. And all I wanted it for was some convertible rear parts. This car was in decent shape when it was put in the yard. So the wheel caps on the back were mint. They were in really good shape, believe it or not.
Okay.
Because that was internal. It didn't really get stove up.
Well, why don't we talk about what the car is?
Yeah.
So if we go to the front, we can tell obviously it's a Cuda,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
A 71 because of the grille.
Exactly.
And it has the gills on the side.
Right.
But for those that don't know, this is probably the rarest color that you could get on this car, and that's called Sassy Grass Green.
Yeah.
And you had mentioned that it was a convertible as well, which would make it even more rare.
Yeah. 71 convertible Cuda.
4-speed or automatic?
It was an automatic.
Okay.
Hard to tell when I got it, but it definitely was an automatic.
Okay.
And it did still have all of its numbers. All the parts have been cut off it now that it's been sitting outside. So it was up on my shelf for the longest time. I just sat it up there, but it kind of needed the shelf space, so it had to come down to the ground level. So, we'll do with it what we can. There's not a whole lot of, saving it, but we can use pieces off it and try to build the car the best we can.
It's going to be a beautiful restoration.
Oh,
for
it's
sure.
a gorgeous car. I've got a lot of convertible Cuda parts, so we can definitely put it back together. But
Oh, and in 71, that's the only year that you could get the billboards on the side.
yes. So there is, when it comes down to billboards, the only number I've heard, and the guys will fight it, and I don't know what the actual number is, of course, but the main number is that I've heard is 200 billboard cars out of all the Cudas, hardtops and convertibles.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So
Okay.
yeah, not many of them actually. I mean, there's a million with.
Oh, I'd put one on mine if I had one, for sure.
I'd put one on a truck. But no, that's one of the coolest stripes they made. And that car, I saw it. And when I saw the car, I was there looking at another car, and the taillights were touching the headlights, and it was sitting on top of a 70 Chevelle. I've got that photo. I'll show it. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, send it
So
to
it was sitting on top of a round roof Chevelle, just like this. And I told the guys, I want that car. I need some convertible parts off it. Plus, it's Sassy Grass Green convertible Cuda. So they wouldn't sell it to me. They're junkyards. So once the cars come in, they're not supposed to leave. And so I finally, 2 years later, called up and I said, why don't you sell me the front and sell me the back? It's 2 parts, right?
Fair enough.
And they're
Yeah.
like, okay, we can do that. 2 years later. So I went out and got it, and my wife came with me and thought I was off my rocker. We got stopped twice on the way home, and thought stuff was going to fall off the trailer. It was a mess.
Is there anything else out in this yard that you would want to specifically talk about before we go inside?
Not
or
much, no, nothing here that has a whole lot of stories.
Any history with anything?
That
on this
car
side?
is just, that's a GTX.
It's a GTX. Okay,
yeah,
we
it
haven't
is.
looked at one of those yet.
Yeah, it's a 69 GTX. It was too bad. That's another sad story. I got it just the way you see it. Guy sold it to me for $500 just for some body panels. The car literally was really solid. Someone blasted it, let it set outside.
I can see that. Yeah, it was solid.
Yeah, the guy that sold it to me has the dash, complete dash to it, so it literally could be restored, but he won't sell me the dash, so I have no idea why, but he won't.
Now these are Western wheels, right? Or what?
I don't know. I don't know, Parker.
Okay.
They actually came with a car that we got, but I mean, they look like a General Lee wheel, but I know
Right.
they got too many turbine blades going there for it, but
I didn't know if it still had a GTX logo on it or not.
it was pretty stripped. It didn't have much.
Yeah,
Now
it looked like they were ready to. Yep.
and now it's our sheet metal storage. So this car will probably be restored or so. I mean, we'll use it for body panels and
Sure.
because it's got a lot of good panels.
Yeah, that's the one thing. I've restored a couple cars, and thankfully enough, I've usually had one of the same cars sitting in my backyard, so I can go look and see exactly how it was put from the factory, or take the bolts out and put it on the new one, you know, after redoing the bolts and stuff, just like you had mentioned earlier.
I've built a gazillion Cudas, and you know, every time I do the doors on a Cuda and put in the glass, which is a nightmare, I always forget the procedure that I use to get the glass in and do it the easiest. So we finally took a door up there and we just cut everything off the outside of it and just left it there complete. So now all I got to do is just stand it there and go, oh, that's how it works.
That's how it works.
Yeah. So it works pretty good. But yeah, there's not much else here that has much of a story. It's all pretty much grocery getter chargers.
Yeah, I see they all got snow tires on them.
Yeah, there's some interesting rims. So yep. Those fenders actually came on the car that we're doing for the guy inside. We'll use better ones. Those are his doors. You can see his, you know, his name's on the side of it. But yeah, this is a 70. So there was probably 670s, 369s, and like 868s.
You want to take a look at any of these over here?
Yeah, sure. This 68 up here is the parts car for the customer that we're doing the restoration for. This car's pretty complete.
It's still got the hubcap on it.
Yeah, it's very rough. The underneath of it is soft.
Well, let me ask you a question first. What is your favorite year, 68, 69, or 70 of the second gen Chargers?
68.
68.
Love the solid grille, love the round taillights.
Taillights.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, they're pretty much, as far as I'm concerned, isn't much meaner back end than, you know, fat tires and double round taillights in the back. So this car, what we're doing is the customer car that we have in there had a 383 in it, had a 4-speed and a Dana 60, set up for drag racing, you know, big gears in it, 456 gears. So I talked to him, I said, what do you want? Because we can build you anything you want. He goes, I want it exactly the same way it left the factory. And I said, it left the factory as a 318, you know, single tire fryer. Oh. And he goes, that's exactly how I want it. It had a white top, I want a black top, that's it. So we are literally going to build him an OEM restored 318 car.
Wow, that's not something you hear every day.
No, you don't. And I said it's. So this is a pretty complete. He wanted this left complete, so we have nuts, bolts, and you know, most of the stuff we need to put his car together.
Now I know for the Cornets and stuff, this is a 2-speed wiper motor.
Correct.
If it was a big block car, did they switch over to the 3-speed on a Charger?
Yeah, a lot of them have the 3 speeds. I mean, the cars with the oval air cleaners, anything with the oval air cleaners,
would have gotten that.
They have to get them. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Now, the interior on this car, is it something that you would redo, or do you put new seats in?
Well, having this many Chargers, we have a
windows down on this side.
Yeah, we have a pretty good you know, selection of interior parts and seats. He has pretty decent interior that we took out of his car.
Okay.
But everything else, you know, if we need something that he doesn't have, that's what this car's for.
I see he's got a CB radio up there too.
Yeah, it's got a CB radio. It's got an 8-track player.
Yeah.
It's pretty loaded up in there.
And then this is kind of like a faux bumblebee stripe back here.
Yeah, definitely was. Yeah,
you have the dealer. What is, it says ALA honor member. Is that something you guys have up here? Or
I don't know what that is, to be honest, Parker. I have no idea.
That is, and then
an oval one on the left.
Do you believe most of these came from Bangor, Maine, you were saying?
Not Bangor. He went
found all over the state.
I don't think he left the state to get them. They're mostly all Maine cars.
Okay.
So, excuse me. So I believe most of them were from around here. A couple of them, like that one there.
Yeah, okay.
And 2 other ones, they actually have the junkyard name that they came out of.
Why don't we take a walk inside and
excuse me,
see what you got going on in there?
Absolutely.
I love the Plymouth sign with the
Cornet
down below.
The Plymouth sign actually is an awesome story.
Okay.
So my brother loves all that vintage stuff. His house is loaded with it. So that sign we've been looking for a long time, and they're $3,000–4,000 if you find one at Carlisle. So my brother found that for $500.
Really?
On one of our local, you know, Facebook Marketplace local. So he called the guy, and the guy says, yeah, it's original. It's definitely original. And he was like, I got to get down there and get it. So my brother took the day off and drove down to get it. So the reason those are so hard to get, I don't know if you know the story on them. So those were not owned by the dealerships. Those were owned by Dodge and Plymouth.
Oh, wow, okay.
So what happened is,
them back.
they didn't even take them back. they had the sign company come and destroy them on site. And they had to prove it, you know, take pictures or whatever they did to prove that they destroyed them, and that's how they got paid. So this guy had 3 of them. He had the Plymouth, he had a Dodge, and then like a Chrysler or something. And the guy begged him that was there. He says, dude, don't cut that Plymouth one up. I got a Plymouth, I want to keep it. Guy worked at the dealership. He said, no, I got to cut them up. And he goes, well, I'll just do these 2 and that will be good enough. And he let him have that. So he passed on the deal. We got it for $500.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, at nighttime
it sets
it's incredible.
The tone. It's
so what I did, Parker, is I put 2 LED panels in there and lit it up that night. Well, there's a subdivision back through the woods, and it's so bright that it lit up the subdivision through the woods. You can, and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to put a dimmer on it. It is really bright. It lights up this whole area.
Security.
So, yeah, it is. It is.
I just like how you got the, what is this, the N96 scoops on here?
Yeah. We got a bunch of stuff like that kicking around. Yeah, we figured it would work its way into the ground eventually. That's not restorable, so when you guys on...
Oh, I just like the way it sits.
I know. So a lot of these cars,
it just greets you before you walk down in the junkyard.
It's pretty neat. I wanted to do it F6 green because that's my favorite, but I said, it'll take me 20 years to have it rust like it is now, so we'll leave it the color it is. So it's kind of, I didn't get a chance to get in here and get a bunch of stuff out of the way and get the messes cleaned up.
Oh, you do got some cars in here. Holy cow.
Yeah, there's a few of them.
So that's the car that...
You've done that one and you've done that one.
Yep.
Yep.
And then you actually got the parts this past summer for this car. Yep, you got them on the wall
Hanging
over there.
on the wall, and the other ones are up in storage up there.
Well, what all do you want to talk about in here or show us in here? Or do you want to just take us through each one? Or?
Yeah, we can start right here and work through if you want. But
sure.
Yeah, this is a customer/friend's car. This is a 69 4-speed Roadrunner convertible.
Oh, wow.
So a pretty rare car. And for your buyers out there, for your viewers out there, this one could be bought. He wants the Charger, so he would let this go the condition it's in. So
what's the price on something like this?
He wants $35 for it. Most of the metal work and body work is done. My brother gapped it quickly, so it maybe needs a little more work gapping it. He's got the parts. An engine comes with it. Seats need foam and covers. Sunfire yellow 4-speed car, and I believe he has the fender tag. So
he's got the parts. He's got the engine. It just needs put together. And painted.
He's not a lover of the Sunfire yellow, but he doesn't want to change it. So he's like, I should just let it go and buy what I want. He wants a Charger. Sure. He wants a 69 Charger.
And how could they get a hold of you, Reid, if they were interested in this?
My brother's got a Facebook page, Stevens Restorations.
Stevens Restorations,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah, so if you click that, there's it's got a picture of the Scat Pack B for his logo.
We'll put a little thing up that'll pop up or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, just click him on there and he'll hook him up with the owner.
Cool.
Yeah.
What do we got on this side?
We got 2 AAR Cudas.
Oh, there's 2. See, I actually owned an AAR Cuda.
You did?
Yeah, mine was an automatic car. It was orange.
Yeah.
And that I wish that I never sold. I made good money on it when I sold it.
Yeah, I love AARs. I've had 6 or 7,
are so
but
cool.
Yeah, they're really cool. I had a Sassy Grass Green one. We've had a Vitamin C. We've had.
Can we open the hood?
Yeah, this one you're not going to find what you're looking for under here, but this car.
I'll let you do it.
Was actually this is clever here. So you take these off, and those are just temporary. This car just came in here with a rally hood. As you see, it has no front valance. This is a cool find. I'll shoot you some photos of when I pulled this out. This just came out of a carport not too long ago. And
local?
Yeah, real local, like 20, 30 minutes away.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
Yeah, I've known about this car since I was 20. When I was 20, we have a local auto trader magazine called Uncle Henry's, which no one looks at now because of the internet. But that used to be the Bible. So every Thursday we would rush to get Uncle Henry's as fast as you can to try to find the buys, right? So this car popped up for $4,000 in a couple towns away. So when I was 20, Parker, I didn't know anything. All I knew was an AAR Cuda should have a fiberglass hood.
Yep.
It should have a 340 6-pack engine, and that was about it. So 20 years old, I grabbed me and my brother. He was 15, I was 20. We go over to look at it, and we get there, and if you look in there, you'll see, you can open the door up if you want. It has like a red, hard Buick LeSabre headliner in it. So I couldn't get past that when I was 20 years old. Oh, whoops, let me help you. There you go. And so, yeah, this was up there, and I was like, why does it have a hard, and it's cardboard like a Grand Coupe. The car's not a Grand Coupe. So, but it's not even a Cuda headliner. Someone just formed it, and And the car, I didn't know back then.
Original 4-speed car?
It is an original 4-speed car, which I didn't remember when I was 20.
Okay.
I also didn't remember it's a B5 blue interior when I was 20. I never even noticed that. It's got the wrong seats, the 73. Somebody took all the right seats. But it is a real 4-speed B5 on B5 AAR Cuda.
This,
Yeah, it won't hurt it.
No. It's not going to pinch it?
No. Fender's probably going to go anyway. It's kind of smashed up. So, and then when I looked at it, this is what the kid was showing us. Was this giant 440 engine.
Too big of a motor in there.
Yeah, so he was showing us that, and he was really going crazy trying to get it started. No fender tags.
Well,
so
you just said what I wanted to have happen here, and you said no fender tags.
yes,
And I want to show them there's multiple holes over here. Now, normally on a regular Cuda, they would have like 2 holes.
exactly.
On this car, it should have 3.
It does. Yep,
Yep.
it does. There's one there, and one there.
And it would have a secondary tag that would say Trans Am on it, because that's what this car was. It was a Trans Am race car.
Yes, yes. So I've tracked this. As you can see, this engine bay is really solid. So this car, those tags did not rust away.
Normally they rust in here.
Yeah, this car's, I never even noticed it when I was 20 years old, but this car is extremely solid.
Yeah.
Extreme. All it needs is lower quarters on the bottom.
Did you get the exhaust with it?
No, it's got dual exhaust on it coming out the back.
Oh, out the back.
Yeah, so somebody took this B5, so if any of you viewers know this car, remembered it being switched over to a regular Cuda, I am trying to track the history down on it. A flipper back in 85, 86, may even bought it at Carlisle. I talked to the guy.
Okay.
He said he was buying cars at Carlisle back then. So this car literally could have came from anywhere.
It's got the right deck on it.
It does, yeah.
Got the holes for the spoiler. Now, these cars had 2 different size wheels on them.
They did.
And that was actually the first time that was ever done, if I remember correctly.
Exactly. The only car that had 2 different offset. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, would have had what? G's in the back and E's in the front?
E's in the front, yeah.
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 So yeah, it's a cool car. So it just came up for sale again, and not too long ago, and it was a decent buy.
And what's this one next to us here? It says Cornet
Yeah,
500 on the back.
this is a Cornet 500, and come check this out. So this car's from Maine. So this is a huge, you just don't see this. Let me grab the keys. I don't know why this thing's in here so deep, but this car came from northern Maine. An old guy had it. He kept notes of every oil change forever.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, every single thing he did to this car. And check this trunk out.
Very rarely do you get paperwork like that.
It's unbelievable.
I bought a Mustang one time, and the dude had a binder this thick.
It's amazing how they take care of it. But
oh, look at the trunk in this thing, dude.
from Maine. Isn't that crazy?
Wow.
You don't see that very often. This car's got a 318 in it. So reason I bought this too is that we're doing customer's car in here that's a Charger, and this thing was pretty clean. It's because it'd be the same drivetrain for his Charger.
Wow, it's just, you can read all of the date code stamping.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's really incredible.
Even from where I live, cars aren't this good.
I know. I told one of my buddies who's from California, I said, this thing's California solid.
It is. It looks like it.
But yeah, I put some hoses on it just to get it running good. The hoses were ready to crumble off. But I mean, there's 100,000 miles on it, but it's still pretty accurate.
Now, this grill right here
Yes.
would have been the same grill that would have been on the car that's on the rack over here, the
Yep.
Charger 500.
Very close. There's a couple little brackets that are different, which I didn't know about until the guy told me that I just bought all the parts from.
Okay.
But externally, yes, 100%. You take that knock that 500 out of the middle.
Yep.
And it's pretty much the same.
And then what was this 318 car you said?
The 318, yeah. So this is exactly the drivetrain we'll be putting in that Charger we're doing for a resto.
Oh, that is a clean car.
Yeah, it is. Very
Now
cool.
this car, I know we filmed this car in a different video, but
Yeah. You did that this year at Carlisle.
man, that is just a cool piece. Is it not?
I love that car. That car is what my dad had when he was 15. So that car is literally what started all this. And that is exactly the same car. That is a force.
Right, you came home from the hospital.
From the
in one of
hospital
those.
in it, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I was born, my dad was 16 when I came home from the hospital, and that's the car he brought me home in. So that's as close as we could get. It's a 4-speed 69. The only difference is this car was a bench seat car. His was buckets. We're going to put buckets in it and the right interior door panels to match it, just to make it exactly like his.
Yeah, I just love the red line tires with the chrome nuts.
Those
on
are
it.
NOS.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, they were white line, NOS, and a guy on the A12 forum a couple guys sold them to me, and I just put the red stripe on them. But yeah, they've never been never been driven. I got another one wrapped up over there.
Now, for those at home, this is called a Chrysler Pentastar.
Yeah.
And if it was a foreign-built car, it would be on the other side.
I didn't know that.
Because they wanted people walking down the sidewalk.
I didn't know that.
To be able to know it was a Chrysler.
Really?
Yeah.
I never heard that. I didn't know that.
Yep.
That's amazing.
What's the red one behind us here?
The red one's a customer car. That
Okay.
car we just did a purple Challenger TA for a customer in New Jersey, and we traded him. We gave him his car complete, and he says, take this home and do essentially the same thing. He doesn't want this one as nice as the TA,
Okay.
because he wants to be able to drive it a little more. So this car is not red. This car is originally vitamin C orange.
Oh.
So, which is one of my favorite colors on an AAR. So that
Oh,
car's,
that's right. This is an AR also.
It is, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So that's a really solid car. They're both really solid AAR Cudas.
Yeah, I got mine out of North Carolina, and it was pretty crusty.
Really?
Yeah.
What color was yours?
It was orange.
It was. You
Hemi
told me
orange.
that.
Yep,
Hemi
yep,
orange.
yep, automatic. It actually had a lace paint job on the hood. And I'm
Oh, it did?
Maybe trying to find it. Yeah. Yeah.
No. Did you sell it when it was still painted like that?
Yeah, I sold it. Yeah. Yep.
Speaking of lace paint jobs, look at this. I'll give you a quick story on this. So I'm a real estate appraiser during the day, so I drive all over the place. Today I actually found a Cuda while I was doing an appraisal. I was
Project car, finished car?
A project, yeah. I'll show you pictures of it when we're done.
Oh.
But yeah, I was up on the second story of a building, and I looked out the window, and it was sitting out behind someone's house. So, but I was up in a town up in northern Maine, and I was sitting at a bank, and I was doing some paperwork, and I looked across the road, and I could see a '69 Roadrunner in a guy's garage that I'd never seen before. So I drove over, asked him about the Roadrunner, and then he was talking to me like we're doing right now, and I literally was not listening to a word he said because that hood was leaning up against the wall in the back.
Absolutely.
And I said, he got done doing his thing, and I said, well, what are you going to do with that hood? He goes, you want that piece of junk? I said, I absolutely do. He goes, $200, take it home.
How many hours are in that hood?
It looks like they got every high-impact color there is on Mopar, pretty much. You got butterscotch, you got lime green, you got hemi orange, you got some reds on there, which isn't high impact, but it looks like it's all Mopar colors. B5 blue, and then I don't know what they did in the middle. It looks like they went crazy with...
I don't think that you would probably find a paint job done like that today. That's like a only done back in the 70s style job.
From what he told me, that Roadrunner was all done up like that and came out of Massachusetts. So maybe someone has some pictures of it, you know, but yeah, it's a cool hood. I like it.
Fiberglass hood or no?
It's not an original A12 hood, but it is a fiberglass hood.
Okay.
Some kind of repro that they had back in the day. So yeah, this car here, this is just a hodgepodge convertible that I'm working on.
Okay.
This car is my wife's.
Well, let me ask you a question, Reid.
Yeah.
How long does it take you to get one of these cars done?
My own, 8 years.
8 years? Okay.
Yeah.
A customer car.
Yeah, so what happens is my own cars, I just work on odds and ends. You know, my poor wife's car here is...
Well, it's like a plumber doesn't have good
Yeah,
plumbing in his
yeah,
house, you know?
I got so many things to do, but this has been her car forever. So this is going to be a quadruple black 71 Cuda. So I have every part to finish this car. I have to gap it and do a little more body metal work to it, and then get it, you know, my goal is to get it sprayed out this winter.
Why are 71 Cudas the most desirable? Is it because the production numbers were lower that year, you think? Or is it just because it has the gills in the front?
I think it's the whole package, Parker. I think where they did some awesome stuff. I mean, the nose on a 71 Cuda is just, I mean, some guys like the cleaner look of a 70. I kind of like it too. But 71s, they just threw everything at it.
Gotcha.
You know, the billboard stripe supposedly, you know, I don't know if it's true, but the guy that made the billboard stripe, I don't know if you ever heard it, but he kept bringing stripes back to the board meetings, the tables, and they didn't like them. Oh. So they were like, no, we don't like that, we don't like that. And he got mad at him, and he just did a great big giant billboard stripe and said, there, how do you like that? And they loved it.
They loved it.
So that's, you know, supposedly that's the deal. I don't know. It's just something I read. But
I mean, I've owned several, you know, Mopars in my life, and I find that 69 Chargers and 71 Cudas, nobody wants to get rid of them.
No, I've had...
you can buy 68s, you can buy 70s, you know, but
it's got the shaker.
It's even got the shaker hood.
Yeah, it's got the... I got everything. I got the rubber bumper, shaker hood, the grill. I got everything for this car. Now, with her, I want her to turn the key and not have any issues. So
Okay.
I am going to dabble on the,
Crate motor?
I think so,
Absolutely.
on the modern style with her,
Absolutely.
because she's not going to want to mess with that. But I figure
You don't want
probably
her stuck on the side of the road with a carburetor
No,
issue or
no.
vapor lock issues or something like
and
that.
I mean,
Yeah.
even Hellcats, they're drivable.
Oh.
This I'll probably go a 6.4, but I wouldn't mind doing a Hellcat just because you can drive a Hellcat normal if you want to. So, and she would be fine with that. And then when I drive it, I could have fun. So
We got distracted with this one again. What was this one?
this
over
is
here?
a hodgepodge car that's
hodgepodge,
just
okay.
thrown together. So I've had tons of convertible parts, like that convertible I showed you outside.
Right, gotcha, okay.
Sheet metal parts that I've had over the years. I've had literally 20 convertible Cudas over the years. And
Really?
yeah, I just.
That's like, if you add it up, that's a pretty decent percentage of convertible Cudas that exist in the world.
I had them, when this garage was built, Parker, they were lined right up in here. They were lined right up, and every year I'd sell one, sell one, sell one. But yeah, I've had a bunch of them. But I kept enough parts to do 2 more, and a guy just came up from Massachusetts and bought every convertible part I had. I don't usually sell parts, but I was doing the math, looking at the cars and thinking, I'm not going to live long enough to finish some of these. So I let some of the stuff go.
Why don't we cover this one back up? And
Yeah.
I'm noticing something out of the corner of my eye over there.
Yeah.
Is that something we're able to talk about? Or?
That's a customer car, yep. So this is, let me give you a quick story on this. You'll get a kick out of this. I'm in 6th grade, literally, and I'm dead serious. 6th grade study hall, remember it as plain as day. And that's when I started dabbling with that Super B down there. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, I'm going to build a garage when I get older. And I did a 60 by 100 garage. And I want 40 feet out front. And I did got out my ruler, did the dimensions. 40 feet should be enough to like store them and have a clean bay. And then we'll have a dirty bay. The other 60 feet will be dirty. And it took me like, I don't know, 40 years to do it.
But you had a vision.
But this is exactly what I built when I was in 6th grade. And stuck the paint booth in the corner. That's exactly where I put it on my drawing. So it's a old DeVilbiss booth that we got from a Dodge dealership. They let it go for $1,000.
Oh wow!
So they were getting new ones. So it's not a downdraft.
You got everything in here. Spot weld machine over there. Everything.
Yeah, I got a great deal on that. Someone
I need one of those. So
Yeah,
if anyone's got one of those at home, they want to get rid of.
they work incredibly well. Let me show you. So I'll give you an example how good they work. So I don't know, this is something good your readers might like. So these convertibles, when you build them, they have structures inside the rockers.
Okay.
Because they don't have a roof, right?
Right, they're beefier
So
underneath.
let me show you. I don't know if you probably never had one in your hands, right?
We'll find out.
Feel that and see. You be careful because there's sharp spot welds on
Holy
there.
cow.
That's what keeps those convertibles together.
Wow.
So look how many spot welds are on there. There is literally 50 to 70 spot welds holding those in. So that's where you
Yeah, but the weight of this for a rocker is insane.
What do you think that is? I haven't weighed it, but it's got to be what?
I would say maybe almost 30 pounds.
Yeah, it's pretty rugged. It's pretty rugged. So this one's all in, and then I have to put these in the car. So when your rockers are bad, you got to redo them. So this one, you can see is already put in.
Yep.
And then it goes right in there, and then you put the other piece on it, and that's what keeps the convertibles rigid.
You guys get pretty good at rust repair up here in Maine. Huh?
You have to be, yeah. You have to be. I love doing the sheet metal.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, my brother loves doing the body
You
work.
find it like you're able to just take your mind out of wherever you're at and just like work?
It's literally the only place that my mind isn't turning.
Got you.
So doing my job in real estate, there's people calling me
you, yeah.
nonstop. So I
right.
come down here, and everything goes away when I'm sitting with a
That's awesome.
tool in front of me.
Oh, all my problems would go away too if this was
Yeah,
my garage.
I gotta have loud music though. My father will come down here and work over the years. He used to work in here with me. He would do it dead quiet like a library.
Oh, no.
And I don't know how he does that, so I had to get
see your
those.
speakers up there.
Had to have them.
I love that rapid transit paint. Is that a poster or is
No,
that
my
paint
brother
on?
painted it.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah, he painted that. He painted a few of them in here.
He did a good job.
Well, every time we got a little extra clear coat left, we come over and clear it. So if we got a little left in one of the spray guns, we come over here and clear a little
it's
more.
really close to the original, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty decent. He did a good job with it.
Now this is a customer car right here?
It's a customer car, and this car, literally, you could essentially walk right through it. Every piece was horrible. The only good thing about this car is he had all of the rare stuff, except for the nose was good, so it's got the metal nose on it.
Okay.
The window plug, which I just got from my Daytona,
Yep.
we got a reproduction one.
That's okay.
Yeah, and we had to because the one on here was so rusty.
Wait, so this is a real car or not a real car?
It's a 446 pack Superbird, a
Got
real
you,
one,
okay.
automatic. Okay. Yeah, it's a real V code. It's Hemi orange. Guys had it since mid 70s. I got pictures of it sitting on blocks that I can shoot you later. But this car was really rough, and he didn't know if we'd even want to do it. But when we went to Carlisle to get a project to do, we had enough room for one more project. I told my brother I wanted a bird. And luckily, he walked up and said, "Do you mind a rough bird?" And I said, "No, we like sheet metal, and we have the chassis racks." I don't know if you saw them, but that Cuda's on a chassis rack.
Yeah.
And there should be a B-body here somewhere on a chassis rack. Oh, it's in the paint booth. I'll show you that after.
Okay.
So this car is the rarest car in the garage. So this car took me 30 years to get. This is
69?
It's a 1969 RTSE sunroof car.
Now, how did I know it was a 69 without
marker lights?
I was going to say it's the marker lights.
Yeah,
That's
marker
right.
lights
Okay.
and the fender. Yep.
I knew it, but I didn't know how I knew it.
So
right,
yeah,
the marker lights.
This car I had a chance to buy 30 years ago, and 25 years ago, and it is absolutely loaded up. So we went to buy this car for a small amount of money, and we ended up being 30 minutes late to buy it. Oof. So the guy was standing in the driveway, and we showed up. It was like a 3-hour drive to get there.
Was he mad about that?
He wasn't mad about it, but a little bit, yes. And he goes, "I'm sorry, guys, me and my buddy were buying and flipping them when the market was high. So we were going in on this car together anyway. So it's, now it's mine, so I can do what I want to do with it. But this car will be sold when it's completed just because it's going to be too expensive of a car for me to keep anyway. But it should be in someone's collection, and it will be.
Well, walk us through it.
Yeah, so this car is the only, as far as I know, and as far as anyone else knows on the registry, it's the only Bahama yellow. It's Dodge.
It's Bahama yellow. Okay.
Yeah, so it'd be Bahama yellow. In 69, the Chargers didn't have a code for Bahama yellow. It's a special order 99 code color.
Didn't know that. Okay.
So yeah, so this one's a special order car. So Bahama yellow, sunroof, RTSE. It's got power windows. It's got 6-way seat. It has a luggage rack. You can see the holes in the back. It's got the rear stripe, black stripe. It's got a V21 hood blackout. It has headlight delay. It has rear window defrost. The only option it really doesn't have is air conditioning, which I'm kind of glad.
Yeah, so it's got the RT package, which is the road and track package,
Yep.
and it has the SE package, which is the
edition.
luxury package.
Yeah.
And you can see here, it's got the holes right here in the pillar for the SE.
Exactly.
And then the SE's also got the turn signals up here in the hood.
Yeah. Yeah, so the car is extremely rare. So what happened is we showed up to buy it. Mm-hmm. He said, "Well, you guys, you were late, so I had time to call my buddy who was a semi-restorer up there." And he told him, "Whatever you do not sell that car today." He told me he was going to sell it. So we went there, thinking, the price was this, and we ended up offering everything we had in our pockets for that day, and he still wouldn't do it. He says, he literally told me, "I don't have 2 pennies to rub together today, but you're not getting that car today." Mm. So I called him every 3 to 6 months for the next 23 years. I'm not kidding you. For 20.
I do that.
Yeah, you have to. You never know.
You're so right, because otherwise it's sell it to someone else.
Yeah, and he was, I don't drive people crazy. It's a quick message, 15 seconds, and sometimes he would answer and he was fine, and other times he wouldn't answer. I'd leave a message.
Sometimes he'll talk to you for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, he did. He's a real nice guy. And so 2 years ago, he called me up. I called him, left a message, and I didn't even know it, Parker. I was driving, doing an appraisal, and I was looking at my messages, and I see his name, and I went, "When did he call me back?" He called me back like 2 days before that. I didn't even see it. And so I called him back, and he said, "Yeah, it's been a long time. The cars are all tore apart now," which I don't mind. They got to be tore apart anyway.
Yeah, they do.
And he said, "It's ready to go." So the guy that had it doing the resto work was, He did all this stuff you see here, which we have to redo all
Yeah,
of
I was
his
noticing this. Yeah.
all of his work. So that's all going to go.
Are you going to put a full quarter on it?
Yeah, we'll probably do full quarters. Yeah, I don't have much choice. I might look for an NOS one, a couple NOS ones, but. So yeah, I mean the cars.
Do you think people care about that stuff these days, as far as NOS quarter panels go on cars?
You know, they may not. You know, this car may end up in an auction. I don't really think I want to do Barrett or Mecum, and I don't think I'll have to with this car. I think word will get out, and someone will probably buy it before we get to that point.
It's a '69 sunroof car. RT,
yeah, and it's
SE.
gonna be beautiful. It's
Yeah,
gonna be a gorgeous
butterscotch.
car. Yeah,
Bomb yellow, I mean.
black. It's black leather interior.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It smells good too.
Yeah, so it's a neat car. It's a really neat car. But you know, I don't know. Maybe not. It depends who buys it. Some of those guys don't care, but you know, it's easier to work with if I have an some of the NOS stuff is.
It fits better. I know that.
Yeah,
I know that.
some of it does. Yeah, but yeah,
you can get into thousands of dollars just for a quarter panel.
I know. I got a couple '69 Super V fenders, NOS ones out there that I had to get out of Canada. Drove halfway across the U.S. to pick them up, and therefore that A12B.
Yeah, I mean, as a person that's been doing this a while, I appreciate cars that were restored with NOS stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't think people my age really understand it as much.
They don't.
You can buy a quarter panel for $200 on the internet. Probably not for this car, or you can get an NOS piece that would be $2,000 and you just put it on once and you don't have to mess with it.
Yeah, I've got a couple, you know, AMD quarters for a '69 right up on the shelf. So I don't know. We'll look at it and see how much damage he did to him, but we'll get it fixed up. But the good thing is the guy did do some things right when he had it. He had all the parts sent out to the right places even back then.
Oh, cool.
So
Okay.
dash was sent out to all the cluster. I see came back with stickers on it from Auto Specialties, you know, that the Mike Mancini's crew that does the dashes. So the radio, all that stuff's done. I mean, there's 2 shelves out there with every part to this car ready to go on. So this car will go together really quick. I'm looking to have this one done probably spring next year.
What wheels would have been on this? 500?
These ones are 500, yeah.
500s? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of 500s.
Really?
Yeah, I like steel wheels. Yeah, you know, I really do. But
You like the plain?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. I think it would, you know, it screams Hemi, but even though this is a 440 car, but I do like the steel. I love 450 wheels. I grab every one I can find, which isn't many. But yeah, absolutely. So this car is this is so. Hey, if any of your viewers,
Sure.
this car was. The last known history I have on this car is from Cherry Point Military Base, which I believe is in North Carolina. I believe. I think it's Cherry Point, North Carolina. So this guy that I bought it off a man at Cherry Point Military Base. I'm going to say mid 80s.
Okay.
And at that point, this car probably was still Bahama yellow. It was orange at one point because, of course, like every Charger, they wanted to turn it into a General Lee.
Yeah, 69 especially.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
You'll see it on the internet in a few spots where it was orange. But I believe it was still yellow when it was down in North Carolina. So I'd love to have some history on this. He said, the guy I bought it from, I don't have much to go on, he said it was a rep car, a dealer rep car. Somebody, you know, that worked for Chrysler.
Yeah, okay. That's why I had all the options on it.
Yeah. So I would love to have some history on it. We don't have a lot of history on it, so it would be great to have
Yeah,
some.
well, if you guys remember a yellow RT 69 sunroof car, Stevens Restorations on Facebook, give them a ring or hit them up.
Love to have some info on it, absolutely. Broadcast sheet's gone, the seats were recovered, so those are missing. We got the fender tag tucked away. But it's, you know, it's funny, when I looked at this car, you know, 23, 25 years ago, whatever it was, I didn't have a cell phone, I don't believe, right? We didn't have cell phones back then.
No.
So all I had was my checkbook, right? So he showed me the tag. We didn't know what we were looking at when we got there.
Okay.
So I show up and, you know, I see this sunroof car and I'm like, oh my gosh, I looked at my buddy. I said, look how rare this car is. So, and he showed me the fender tag, plump full. So I said, do you mind if I make a pencil rubbing of that? So I got out my checkbook and I made a pencil rubbing of that fender tag. And I sent it to the guy at the registry, Chris I can't say his last name. But anyway, I sent it to Chris.
Did it have one tag or 2 tags?
Just one, but it's full.
Because it had all of the...
So it's plump full, yeah.
Gotcha, okay.
And so I sent it to him and he's like, oh, you got to get that car. He's been after me for 20 years to get this car. And I keep telling him, I'm working on it. And then finally I was able to tell him that we got it. But he kept that pencil rubbing and he posted it like I don't know, a couple, 3, 4 years ago, and I see it pop back up. I'm like, wow, he kept that. I didn't keep it. So luckily he
Reid,
did.
is there anything else you'd like to show us here? Anything like that? I love your passion. You
Yeah,
know?
it's fun.
I just, for one, your junkyard out there is mind blowing.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I
my
mean?
wife loves it.
At least they're all different colors. and
Yes,
it's, you know
yes.
what I mean. If they
I
were
do.
all, you know.
Yeah, and I weed whack it. I keep it somewhat. It's a lot of work, but I
That's
do.
probably relaxing at some time too.
Yeah. It's better when my brother helps me, but it's yeah. No, I love this. I wish I had more time to do it. I know a couple of young kids now that keep me pretty busy, and my job, which never seems to slow down. So
They get in here to help you out at all?
they do. Yeah, the 500 is my 9-year-old son, so we're doing that for him.
It's a lucky guy.
And I told him, help me build it. He can drive to school on his first day that he can drive.
He'd be the coolest dude in the whole state driving a Charger 500 to school.
Yeah, it would be pretty neat. I'll show you, my 10-year-old daughter's already picked hers. That's the only one that's running. That's a Ram Charger. I'll show you that before we leave.
Okay.
And yeah, the only other thing in here is you can see, if you guys want to see how rough the rough ones get, this car actually, believe it or not, that Superbird was just as rough as this. If you guys want to wait here, I'll turn the light on.
Do the big reveal, you know?
Yeah, it's not much to look at. This is the scariest one in here, but they, believe it or not, they all kind of look like this.
I was gonna say, I don't know. I've seen some scary cars.
So this car, the guy that owns it, that we did that deal with all the Chargers.
Oh, now people can see what they look like inside.
Yeah. So these frame rails are just sitting in there. I got to weld them in. They came out of a '66 Charger. We decided to use real ones and our original ones and cut all the junk off them. The frame rails were pretty decent.
Are they the same?
They're the same besides a few things. There's a couple holes you need to drill in different spots and a couple brackets that need to disappear, but for the most part, they're the same physical size.
Okay.
And so you can see this car it rusted everywhere. It rusted up into the roof frame. It rusted on the package tray. The whole Dutchman panel's gone. So you know, the owner just had no idea it was this bad. So
that's usually how it goes.
It always does. Yeah, my brother's got a blasting business, so
there you go.
He does all the blasting, and you can see the front frame rails gone on it. This whole front will be pretty much replaced. So it's going to be mostly new metal.
Now this was a 68
318 car.
318 car.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the one that's the replica of the one out there.
Yes, this is the one he bought brand new
it's
with
making
his.
sense to me
with
now.
his,
I got you.
Yeah, no, I know it's confusing, but yeah, he bought this brand new with his dad. So I'm really excited to give this back to him in just the shape it was. Probably a little bit better than it was when he bought it. So it'll be pretty neat.
Cool.
Yeah, should have this one done, you know, hoping by spring. So.
Well, guys, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give us a like or subscribe. Again, if you're interested in anything that, like, you know, that one car's for sale, or is there anything else?
That's the only thing for sale. We don't usually sell much. We don't sell parts really, for the most part. You know, my buddies will stop by. I'll trade parts with them. I'd rather do that. I mean, we have a lot of parts, as you can imagine, that are tucked away up and around. So, but for the most part, we don't really sell parts. So we need them for these. So every time I sell something, usually I need it the next day.
Well, Reid, I want to thank you personally for one, inviting us up here.
Thank you,
but for two, just letting the world kind of see exactly what it is that you've accomplished here.
No, I appreciate it. It's my passion. You know, I've done it for years. This is how I relax, and it's a blast. And I appreciate you guys stopping by.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you so much, Reid.
All right, thank you.